Oni Melly. Oni Melly is an indie VTuber and artist who debuted on January 23rd, 2022. The controversy started on August 30th, 2025, when an artist known as Yutanzi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, posted a tweet advertising 2 model designs. Oni Melly would make a post on the same day, subtly calling the artist out for allegedly copying her own design. She would follow up with a more direct tweet, pointing out the supposed similarities between the designs, and claiming that it's, quote, so on the nose. People would get very confused as to why Melly was trying to call Yutanzi out, as they claimed that not only were there substantial differences between the designs, but that Melly's design was very generic, and doesn't warrant a call-out post when it could have been resolved privately. Yutanzi would post a few hours later after Melly's second tweet showing her inspiration behind the design, and would apologize for having some similarities. She would include a tweaked version of the original design, where she would make a few changes to make the design more original. She would also state that she wished this could have been resolved in DMs, rather than a public call-out post. The same day, on August 31st, 2025, Melly would make a rather odd post that didn't give people signs of her planning to take accountability. She would make another post a few hours later, where she would double down on the claims of a copied design, and stated that she didn't want to reach out to Yutanzi in private because, quote, they made me feel uncomfy. This would lead to backlash from the community, as people would express both confusion and anger towards Melly for not apologizing to Yutanzi and not being able to take criticism from the community. She would go silent from there until September 7th, 2025, where she claimed to have nearly made an attempt on her own life on September 1st. She stated that she should have reached out to Yutanzi in private and plans to step away for some time, leaving her Twitter account to her friends. People would get more angry towards Melly, as not only would there be no mentions of a proper apology on that post, but the original call-out posts were still up, which led the community to believe that she was tripling down on her original claims. The post would give even more confusion to the community, as she would continue to post regularly on Twitter, after stating that she would step away for some time. As of this video, she has streamed twice since the controversy, but is projected to lose more followers as time passes, according to Social Blade. Just like with anybody mentioned in these types of videos, don't go harassing Melly for this controversy, especially given that there are already people who are taking harassment towards Melly too far. Nachisu Miku. Nachisu Miku, or Red Miku as I'll refer to them, is an indie American VTuber who debuted roughly around June of 2024 and was part of a VTuber group known as VTards, a group that was self-proclaimed to be composed of, quote, based anime girl VTubers who aren't concerned with being politically correct on the internet. At the time, Red Miku was known for their loud beliefs in Nazism, revolving their persona around this ideology, along with partaking in various questionable activities online, such as dropping slurs on multiple occasions and praising Nick Fuentes, a far-right political commentator whose views are described by the public as white supremacy, amongst other far-right views. An interview with Red Miku was held on July 18th, 2025, with YouTuber Godfast discussing various topics with them, including asking about their political beliefs, thoughts on VTubing culture, and whether Red Miku was male or female. Red Miku would state that they are a white, German female who used a voice modifier to hide their identity and believes that people in the VTubing community can't speak out on what they believe in without risking repercussions. Red Miku would also state that, despite being a self-proclaimed Nazi believer, they have never read any Nazi literature, which has led to a rise in suspicion towards Red Miku's persona and identity as a whole. Later on, some individuals would find crucial information about Red Miku, an old Minecraft username. This would lead to Red Miku being doxxed around August of 2025, where a thread revealed that Red Miku was a male software developer who participated in the storming of the Capitol on January 6th. He would be arrested, where he took a plea deal and pled guilty, sentenced to probation for 18 months and a $500 fine, and would be pardoned on January 20th, 2025. On August 6th, 2025, the doxing thread would be posted to a section in Kiwi Farms known as Prospering Grounds, previously called the Proving Grounds, a community that posts about, quote, eccentric people who voluntarily make fools of themselves. Hours later, Red Miku would post responses to Twitter and Discord on August 7th, initially denying everything on that thread by stating that the people doxed their brother, but would delete them shortly after. Red Miku would threaten legal action, but would quickly get shut down. On August 8th, 2025, Red Miku would confess to not being a female Nazi supporter, stating that they were acting and were committed to the bit. Shortly after, the VTards group would disband. As of this video, all ex-members are still active on Twitch and Twitter, having moved on from the VTards saga. Tokaru. Tokaru was an indie VTuber who debuted on April 15th, 2022. The controversy started on March 17th, 2024, when indie VTuber Lily posted a 15-page Google Doc talking about her experience with Tora. In that document, Lily would talk about how the two met at Anime Expo in 2023, where the two would join some friends at an Airbnb near the expo. Prior to meeting, Tora would have very explicit DMs with Lily, where he would send unsolicited nudes, talk about bedtime activities, and admit to jerking his jerky to her voice whenever she streamed. The two would meet on the second day of Lily's trip, where the two would hug and briefly hang out. The two would take an Uber to the Airbnb later, where Tora touched Lily without her permission, but Lily chose to give in and let him rest his head on her shoulder. During the night at the Airbnb, Tora would ask Lily if she loved him, to which she didn't answer. Tora would then move towards Lily's side of the couch and pin her down to the couch, kissing her on the cheek without her consent. He would quickly get off of Lily when they heard a friend approaching, and the two wouldn't talk about it until July 13th, 2023, when Lily confronted Tora about the assault. Lily claims that Tora brushed off the assault and was more concerned that he thought Lily was mad about them not doing bedtime activities. She wouldn't mention what happened for a bit until explaining it more in detail when friends were talking about their time at Anime Expo. This would be met with overwhelmingly positive support from the community, with many expressing their condolences for Lily's experience, and some speaking out against Tora themselves. The next day, Tora would put out his response, where he stated that he was taking full responsibility and accountability for the situation and would retire from VTubing as a whole. He would apologize for the explicit DMs, claim that he wasn't cheating on his partner at the time due to allegedly not being in a committed relationship, and claimed a slightly different set of events that happened on the night of the assault, where he sat by her knee area instead of pinning her, but did admit to kissing Lily on the cheek. In the end, he would reaffirm that he doesn't plan on returning to content creation and offer to sell his assets to people who would use them. His partner, who I'll keep anonymous, would make a brief statement as well on the same day, trying to clarify the relationship status that Tora mentioned in his statement, express support for Lily, and would say that they plan to continue dating Tora despite their knowledge of Tora's assault. This would lead to people questioning Tora's partner, as they weren't directly involved in the situation, and expressing frustration that they still chose to date Tora despite expressing supposed support for Lily. As of this video, Tora has deleted their Twitter and YouTube accounts, but has left his Twitch account that has been purged still up.